It's another faith feature here on the Mars Hill Network, and joining me now is the Director of Community Relations for the Salvation Army, Empire State Division, our good friend Jeremy Miller. Welcome to Faith Feature.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me.
And you look great in the shirt and in the hat, by the way.
It's a new normal, I guess. We're getting used to how we do things, and I don't think I've ever done an interview through Skype, so I figured I might as well at least have the brand showing.
Yes. No, it looks great. It looks great. So obviously you guys are essential and front and center with what's going on with the pandemic right now. And I know that you told me you had some great stories of great things that have happened already in the community. Share with me a little bit more about what's going on right now, and then we can get into some of the stories.
Salvation Army has moved to this, working online, working from home, but in our service centers and in our community centers, obviously that's really hard to do. You can't work from home and make sure that you're feeding the hungry or, sheltering the homeless. It doesn't work like that. So those folks who are doing that, those staff members and our officers, they are certainly on the front lines of helping people in need in this really strange and very unique time in our history. We've never really dealt with anything quite like this in this way. We've seen sickness before. We've had to deal with, certain viruses going around, and we've had to deal with, national crises in different ways. But this is all new for everyone. We had to make some changes on the way we do that, the way that we help people in need. For one thing, our soup kitchens, we are asking people to come up to the building, and we are handing them either a bagged or boxed meal that they can take with them. Now, obviously, operating our shelters is completely different. Then we have, certain measures in place to make sure that they are safe, that the rest of the residents in that shelter are safe, and that our staff members and our officers are all going to be safe and healthy as well. As you can imagine, it's a tricky situation. And how exactly do you go about doing that? We've just followed the advice from the CDC and the state. They don't want you necessarily sending just anyone to the hospital. The hospitals are certainly overwhelmed at this point already, and they are working with limited resources like everyone else. So we have to be mindful of what we do. But we do get them medical care if they need it. We make sure that they are seen by a health professional and that they are taken care of. And then once those residents leave the shelters, we sanitize that space. We have people that go in and make sure everything is wiped down and cleaned down. We need to have plenty of cleaning supplies, which there's a shortage all across the country. People have been buying in bulk, and there have been plenty of stories about that. I don't need to really go into it other than to say that there are organizations like the Salvation Army that really need those supplies to make sure we can take care of people who need it the most and keep everyone healthy and protect our people, our staff and officers, and as well as the people who come to us for help. There are families in these groups that we're giving them extra food when they come to our food pantries because we don't want them exposed as much. And that just leads to us needing more resources. We need food donations, we need diaper donations, we need cleaning supplies, formula. Apparently, a lot of people have stocked up on formula. I have young children. I get it. I understand. I know what it's like. But those things will continue to be available. If you can go to a store and buy it, you don't have this emergency situation where, well, what am I going to do? We're not at that point. We're not dealing with that. What we are dealing with, we're seeing people who are living in poverty right now who cannot get any formula for their children because it's not on the store shelves. We can't get it. We can't get it to distribute it to them. So if you've been lucky enough and blessed enough to be able to get your hands on a lot of formula, a lot of diapers, a lot of any kind of healthcare products or any kind of cleaning supplies or anything like that, speak with your local Salvation Army to see what it is they need, and then see if you have any of that on hand that you could spare and you could help them with. The big thing too, Rich, is monetary donations. And I know it's difficult to ask people to make a donation at a time like this. We don't know what's going to happen with our economy. A lot of us don't know what's happening with our jobs. A lot of people are being temporarily furloughed or laid off, which increases the need and the strain put on the Salvation Army. Those are more people that we are helping out. Those are more people. We're helping them pay their rent. We're helping them pay their mortgage bills. We're helping them pay their utilities. We're helping them take care of their families and make sure that they're going to be sustained and all of their human needs are met. That's our mission statement. If you didn't know, it's to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human need in his name without discrimination. For us to continue that mission, we need help. We need help from our friends and our partners in the community and our neighbors. We need people to come in and help us out with, some of those monetary donations. And the big reason for the money is that we can buy the supplies we know we need. We can tell you exactly what we need where, and if that money is sent in, they can order that stuff themselves. They can buy that stuff themselves. You might have good intentions of donating something in particular, but we have an abundance of that, and we don't really need that at that particular location. What we need is this other item. So money helps them to be more efficient and to be better stewards of what the community is giving us. You were asking about some of the stories that I've heard.
Yes.
In the past couple of weeks. What a struggle it is to keep your kids occupied and satisfied. Now, I've seen postings on social media of people saying, you know what, hey, we live in the greatest time for something like this to happen. You've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got all these things. Is it that difficult to sit at your home, sit on your couch?
It's like taking a soda can and shaking it up. We are social people. We are social creatures. And yes, this is difficult.
Exactly. It is, exactly. And to keep the kids occupied, you have to get creative in some ways. And if you're not used to being the teacher and the parent, you just added another hat, to your job description.
Free of charge, by the way.
Yeah, it can be difficult. And we've gotten some notices from families who are having a hard time, and they're struggling with this kind of adjustment. And even for children who are homeschooled, your kids are active. Your kids are involved in different things, whether it's drama or sports or whatever the case may be. They're doing some sort of a creative arts program. They're doing something to try and enhance their development. That's what we all want to do as parents. But it's so difficult to do. And it's great that people are offering things online, and that's wonderful. But our officer in Niagara Falls, Major Steve Carroll, noticed that this was an unrealized, unrecognized, and unmet need in his community. He had a few things on hand because he had a lot of supplies from Christmases past, including toys, educational materials, art supplies, all kinds of things. So he started to put together these care kits. Justice League of Western New York came out dressed up as Captain America and all these other superheroes to go out and actually drop these things off on these kids' doorsteps and wave at them. And in some cases, take a safe distance picture with them. If that phrase makes sense anymore, I don't really know.
Right. But for those of us who are Gen X, it gives new meaning to "Here I come to save the day."
Right. I don't think anybody even notices a Mighty Mouse reference anymore. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. But
only us that are 40s and older would even have a chance of recognizing that one.
So the fact that somebody cared enough about them to drop off a care package with all of these things that they could do to keep them occupied, I'm sure the parents really appreciated that too. But the best part is it's being delivered by Spider-Man. I mean, like, how cool is that? It really made these kids' days. So I was very proud to see Major Carroll step up and fill that need. That's just one example. It's just one story of things that we are doing all across upstate New York. But we are reaching out to the communities that are in need. But at some point, we hope to get back to a sense of normalcy. We don't know when that's going to be. If you have the ability, if you have the supplies, if you have anything you can donate, please do. It would make a world of difference to these people that we are trying to help, because as it is, they already feel like outcasts. They're already the social outcasts in our country, in our society, and across the world, really. And the one thing that we really cannot recreate for them is having some sense of human interaction, being able to bond with another human being, have a conversation. One of the great things about our soup kitchens is we can bring somebody in, look them in the eye, treat them like a human being, and show them the love of Christ by feeding them a hot meal and letting them warm up for a little while, and telling them that, You are loved. You are cared about. It's different, obviously that message is still there when they're getting a bagged lunch or a boxed lunch. But it's way different. They can't come in and talk with other people and interact with people, and they're more isolated than ever. So the fact that our community, our neighbors, would be willing to reach out and donate what they have in this time to make sure that those people are okay, that sends the message that they really need. Because the thing that people need the most right now is hope. As badly as people need food, as badly as people need some of these items that we used to take for granted, these everyday items that we all have in our households, and used to be pretty simple. Hey, I ran out of this. You run to whatever store it is that you favor and you go and buy it. It's not that simple anymore. Things have changed quite a bit, and it's really changed the way that we are caring for those in need.
Jeremy Miller, Director of Community Relations for the Salvation Army, thank you so much for going in depth and giving us a great feel for what's going on and what the needs are for the Salvation Army going forward in this Faith Feature. And this has been Faith Feature here on the Mars Hill Network, giving you hope in the journey.